And we're ready to go and recording now. Okay, let's come to our, let me close this because it gives a usually a little more stable light. Not that it's more light, but it's not as flickery and changing from light to dark. And let's come to our chairs here. Let's come to the very, very edge of the chair. That's what we work from. This is what I call the neutral position, a position that we constantly either come back to or we work from. So it's important that you have it right into your own body, that you know exactly how to position yourself to get the maximum benefits of this practice. So we want to sit at the very edge of the chair, allow the hips to tilt forward a little bit. So that means that your booty, your tailbone is tilting back more than usual, or at least more than usual when you're sitting. It's aiming to find that natural curve of the spine that you have when you're standing up. And that allows you also to have plenty of room behind the legs, between the legs and the chair and the floor for movement to happen. Because if you're stick back here, there's not much room to move your legs back. You bump into the chair all the time. And you don't access your thighs in an active way as you do when there's plenty of space here to work with. Your feet are hip distance apart, which makes me need to tilt this computer's camera a little bit so that you can see it better. Sorry about that. Last minute adjustments. Now I'm going to pull back also a little bit more. There we go. So your feet are hip distance apart and parallel, meaning that the toes are not going out, the toes are not going in. And all this because, first of all, you want to have the wider surface of support on your feet. And you can check out that when you move the toes out or in, it's a different kind of support that you get. It's not as stable and as even. And the same, you don't want to have your feet far forward because then the weight shifts to the heels. Neither you want to pull your toes and your feet in and back toward the chair, because then the whole weight is on top of the ball of the feet. So therefore, you want to bring your feet right underneath the knees. Feet, knees, and hips are aligned to hip distance apart. And your shin bones, I'm putting it that way, and I have like a fancy pen, like fluffy, so you cannot see really well if I'm not holding, but now that I'm holding it this way, you can see that my shin bone, which is the bone to the front of the low leg here, is perpendicular to the floor. Makes kind of a 90-degree angle with the floor. And again, I want you to check how it feels different when you push the foot a little further forward, or where you slide the foot closer in. And notice that you have a different sensation in the leg support, a different perception of how you receive the floor to push away from gravity, because that's what we're aiming to. We're working with all we have in the body form and in the breath form to make sure that we're moving with ease and comfort, and knowing that we have to fight the weight of gravity. So when you're not properly aligned and you're off your axis, it requires a lot more effort. It's more strenuous and more challenging for the body that has to constantly retweak and readjust to find its ideal balance, right? So that's why we're putting all the ingredients in our game here and to our advantage of helping to the maximum the body to be as efficient and supported as possible. And finally, but not least, we make sure also that we're not sloping back like this. And that's why also we stay right at the edge of the chair, because it's a lot, or at least a little harder to roll back here and round when we're at the edge of the chair. It's a lot easier to tilt in that pelvic tilt forward, and therefore free the spine to feel more fluid. And you can try this for yourself too. When you're rounding back, try to move from side to side. Your spine is locked right at the mid spine. If you tilt your hips forward, you find that natural curve of the back. There's more fluidity. You have an access to the spine that you don't have in the other sloping position. Hands are resting on the lap, whichever level, depending on the length of your arms, that allows not only to rest the hands, but to also drop the elbows into a slight bend, which in turns allows the shoulders to drop also away from the ears and be a little more settled and relaxed down. Doesn't mean when you drop the shoulders that you're rounding. The shoulders are dropping, but the center of the chest is lifting. And that what that does also is broadening the chest, broadening the front of the shoulders back instead of rolling in. Why is this supportive also? Is it's very supportive to the breath. So let's start here breathing. You can close your eyes and take a moment to go inwards and check in with your body. And as you maybe find a few tweaks here to adjust your body in the position I just described, see for yourself how it feels to breathe in and out and expand fully the rib cage, activate the diaphragm, and therefore feel if you're able to enhance the capacity of your lungs to receive breath and to enhance the capacity of your lungs to release the breath out. Breathing is also a chemical exchange between oxygen and carbon dioxide, and you want more oxygen in. That's what you need in your blood vessels. That's what you need to feed all the way to the cellular level to fuel your body to be healthier and to be able to heal itself and for the process of reproduction of cells, new cells, and all that, you need oxygen. That's the main fueling ingredient or nutrient. So when we breathe shallow, when we breathe in a collapsed way, we tend to collapse the lowest part of the lungs, which accumulate carbon dioxide, and therefore you don't have as much access to that pure energy and strong energy of oxygen. So let's take a few more breaths here as I'm talking to you. I'm going to guide you a little bit also into what to do with this body, um, the body discovery or the body rediscovery and scanning. So I want you to go in and really tap into how your body is feeling. Not from the mind perspective of thinking how you should be feeling or how you dislike what you're feeling, but being very neutral in your approach, very kind, very loving, very curious, very open to listening to your body and to see how at the start of this class your body is doing. Maybe you'll come across areas that experience a little ache, a little pain, a little tightness, resistance, whatever you want to call it, depending on your level of discomfort here. But you can also spot, which a lot of times when we have parts of ourselves that hurt, we become deaf and numb and blind about the parts that actually feel good. So let's scan also for the areas in your body that feel already at ease and comfortable, that are not noticeable at first because they're feeling good, so they're not asking for any kind of attention here. So it requires you to go part by part and inquire yourself for those areas that feel good, that have a sense of balance, of ease, of being relaxed. And take, as you go through this journey of tapping in, take just a few more breaths and see if already you're able to breathe a little deeper, a little wider, that the flow of the breath is a little more even instead of scattered or choppy. And finally, but not least, as you feel your breath, notice if you're able to feel it not only through the front part of the body, which is the first axis that we tap in, but but are you able to feel the breath through the back of your body, the sides of your body? How far down toward the belly you feeling the expansion of the breath? And how far up also, because shallow breathing is not only restricting the access to the lowest part of the lungs, is also not being able to fully breathe into the top of the lungs. And the top of the lungs are pretty high. And when you breathe fully into your lungs, you should feel a movement of your collarbones to the front part of the body, which are those bones across from the base of the throat across to the front of the shoulders. And you should be able to feel the breath all the way to the base of the neck, to the back of the body. And that's why when you inhale fully, there's a sense of the shoulders lifting up, not because you're crunching them up, but because the collarbones are lifting up through the inflation, the inflating of the lungs, the upper lungs. And the same, we feel a lengthening of the cervical spine, the neck area. Again, because that top of the inhale is pushing, the upper part of the lungs are pushing up, and therefore creating space and openness throughout the spine, especially at that upper end. It's more obvious. And now you can gently open your eyes. Take a moment here to feel the grounding of your feet down. Feel the sensation of the sole of the feet to your ground, whether it's carpet, hardwood floor, tiles, whatever your floor is. Maybe move your toes, wiggle the toes a little bit, especially if you're in shoes all day long. This is probably an unfamiliar sensation of isolating the movement into the toes. And then wiggle your hands, wiggle your fingers first. And move your hands. You can lift them and move a little bit the wrist around. You can move your feet in any manner, in any way that you feel like, without me telling you specifically. It's easier to move one foot at a time and keep the other one grounded. And make sure you move both, especially moving in wider range of motion like I'm doing. Then it's better to have one foot still and come back to your feet hip distance apart. Now you have a different sensation in your feet. And now we're going to start moving the spine. And imagine that your grass, like imagine a big field of grass, and there's a breeze running through this either a plain or the mountain grass. And it's gently touching, gently moving the grass, that wind, that breeze, nice and easy. It's not a storm. So you're going gentle into waving from side to side. Most of you, I believe, have seen the movement of the grass through fields, either in physical presence or on TV and movies. So imagine yourself being this leaf of grass and just being moved. So there's not effort. The grass doesn't have muscles. The grass is not active on its own. If there's no wind, it's not moving. So let yourself be moved by this swaying, meaning that everything is as relaxed as it can be, and you're using minimum effort to sway. To use minimum effort, you make sure that your sit bones are grounded on your chair and your feet are grounded on the floor, so that your body's wisdom is trusting that it's safe to let go into this very nice, soft, gentle swaying of the back. And then allow your head, when it's ready to move also, that's the upper end of the spine on which the head is resting. So allow your neck to gently sway along, which in turns, because your head is heavy in proportion to the neck, if you really relax in that space in the neck, then the head can gently sway along with the rest of the spine. So we're going here sideways from right to left or about. It can be a little different than that. And make sure, final touch here, which is not the least, that you relax your jaw and your tongue, that you're not clenching your teeth together, you're not pressing your tongue to your upper palate and tensing your tongue up. You just let it drop between your lower teeth. Maybe the tip of the tongue is touching slightly the upper palate right behind the upper teeth, but your jaw is unclenched and relaxed. And as you do that, notice if your swaying is a little smoother. Couple more. And then we're going to start bringing ourselves back to center so that now we can sway forward and back. And it's a gentle sway. It is not the spinal wave that we do often in this class. It's a lot tinier, and the sway comes more from the chest and upper back area. And for this one, I'm gonna go sideways because it's not as obvious when I'm facing you. So this is the swaying, where things are completely relaxed. And eventually, again, your neck and your head are going into swaying. And you keep on breathing really nice and long here. Full breath in, full breath out. And let's take just a few more sways here. Really feel how the body is receiving the swaying and is maybe starting releasing and relaxing a little deeper just with a simple movement. And let's find our center again. Pause. Make sure you're back to your neutral position, that nothing has changed position here. And we're going to relax the arms out to the side and down. And we're going to gently sway the arms forward and back. And you're kind of using your hands as if you were brushing through a canvas, especially when they're coming forward. You're kind of brushing to the tip of the fingers a canvas in front of you, painting in the air. So your wrists keep on going forward and back, but I'm going to show you sideways, maybe this way. See, the wrist is nice and loose. You're not doing this, right? Nice and loose. And that's what you want to not only feel in your wrist, but also in your elbows and shoulders. And if you have arms to the chair, then you go a little further out. That requires a little more action in your upper arms, but try to keep the low arms really, really nice and soft. And then we're going to go a little higher and a little further back. And still with this like brushing touch of the fingers as you come down. For those of you that are visual and have a bright creative imagination, which can help into relating to the body, imagine here that we have two buckets, like square buckets of paint, and you sliding your hands, and now while you're lifting, you have paint through your fingers and hands and brushing the canvas with it and getting back into soaking in the paint and go back up. It can be also simply water, that you're splashing gently water. Couple more. See if you're able to go into wider range of motion, not because you're aiming to that, but because the shoulders are loosening up and you're naturally able to go a little bigger. And next time your arms are up, keep them up. Rotate your wrist as you lower your arms out and down. And then reverse the rotation of the wrist as you go up. Arms are opening up and closing up, and then reverse and release the arms out and down. And take your time, don't rush it. You reach down, you reverse the rotation of the hands and fingers, and you progressively and slowly open the arms up and lift and reverse again. Let's do this 2 more times. And make sure you're breathing here, because I'm quite sure that the few of you at least, they're focusing so strongly with intensity of what the movement is, have lost their breath. And therefore the rest of the body starts tensing up. If you're not breathing, you'll feel the reaction of the legs and the torso tensing up, asking for oxygen to come in. So make sure that any movement you're doing is led, is infused, is soaked into your breath. And one last, just for the fun, rotate wrists up, reverse and rotate wrists as you lower your arms down. And pause and relax. Land hands on your lap and take a moment here. We've already done quite a bit of movement, even though it was gentle and soft. You still get to feel the effects of all this movement. And now we're going to go into more of the spine axis along with the arms. You're going to reach out and across to the left with your right arm, dive, and then open out and back. Reach back, look back, and come forward and back to your leg. Switch in arms. Left arm goes across to the left as you're tilting forward from the hips, and then open the arm across, diagonal, and back. And let's keep on going. Pull in, swing back, reach across, open back. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Breathe in, reach, and open wide. You don't need to have your arm tensing up. You can have a soft bend in the elbow, soft hand, and open. Head is following the movement. 2 more. You're going as slow as your breath can go deep. And stop. Now we're going to reverse the movement. You're going to reach back with your right arm, look back, and round over, stretch, and come back in. Left arm back, swing, reach across to the right, and switch. Right arm back, and reach as if you were going to grab something in front of you and across, and come back. Left arm, and exhale as you come back. Inhale as you swing. Exhale, pull back in. Inhale. Follow with your gaze and head. Exhale. Breathe in. And out. Breathe in. And out. And stay. Take a moment here, take a pause. You can even close your eyes. That helps you get into what you're feeling instead of what you're seeing. Get deep, long breath in and out. And opening your eyes. We're going to start rocking the hips forward and back, rocking the pelvis forward and back. So this is how it looks when I'm facing you. And now I'm going to go sideways here. And that's how it looks from the other perspective. So you're going into arching forward. And at first that might be tender. If you have a tendency to have low back pain, if you're sitting again for long hours on your couch, on your chair, and this is the position you're in most of your day, then going into the opposite direction is going to be a little tender at first, a little sensitive. So be mindful and start maybe slow and low and narrow. And as your body is naturally unlocking a little bit more range of motion for you to take, then you start enhancing to the next edge. And breathe all along. And eventually, when this movement becomes smooth and even, or at least a little smoother, a little more even, then you can engage also into the shoulders and the chest. So you're rolling the shoulders back, you're bringing the chest forward on the inhale as you arch the back, and then you're rounding into the whole spine, shoulders forward as you exhale. Breathe in, chin starts going away also from the chest. Breathe out, chin comes down. So now the whole spine eventually is engaged into the waving of the back. And you can check in here with your feet and see if by pressing down in your feet that helps the spine have a little more ease in this movement instead of strictly relying on your back muscles, your belly, your arms. And along with the pressure of the feet down, the pushing and the pulling, you can also use your hands on top of the knees to press down as you round back, to pull gently forward as you bring the chest forward. 2 more. Next one, as you arch forward, we're going to tilt down and then push from the hands and feet to roll the way back up. Inhale, arch and tilt. Exhale, forward and roll back up. Breathe in. Exhaling. One more, breathe in. And exhaling. And coming back to neutral. I'm going to face you again to show, actually I can do it from here so you can see the position of the feet. So you're going to bring the right foot back a little bit, like a couple of inches, in that same straight line. You're not pulling it back here, neither closing in. Just that same line of hip distance apart. So yeah, a couple, 1.5 inches to 2 inches of the alignment of the left foot. And then you're going to slide your left foot forward 1 inch or 2. So now your feet are stacked instead of aligned to parallel. And you're going to start pulling one foot and pressing the other foot to kind of tilt forward and back. And I want you to see which foot to you makes more sense to push and which foot makes more sense to push down to create this movement. And then we're going to add the arms. So you're going to bring the arms parallel to the floor here and parallel to each other. And you're going to go with the movement. Both arms are doing the same. Sliding forward and back. And then you're going to change the movement, like both arms are not going to be doing the same. So right arm goes forward as you tilt forward, and left arm goes forward as you come back in that right arm. So now your shoulders are going forward and back. This is how it looks sideways, and I'm going to face you so it gives you maybe another hint for front part. And now I'm working in my shoulders. Doesn't really matter if you lose track of which arm is supposed to go forward, which arm is supposed to go back. It's just a matter that you're switching from the one to the other one as you're rocking the shoulders. One is closing, one is rolling forward, one is rolling back. And you keep the action of the feet. Keep on breathing. And this is quite an active movement. You're not as relaxed as the previous movement we've done. This is activating the legs strongly, activating the back as you have to create this twisting of the shoulders. The arms stay straight forward. 3 more. back to center, relax, release. Bring your right foot forward 1.5 inches or 2. Bring your left foot back 1.5 inches or 2. Bringing your feet back to parallel, hip distance apart, and relax. Feel all the heat, all the tingling, especially on your back. That's where I feel it the most. But feel it also in your legs and arms. What sensations are you experiencing here? And let's go to the other side. So now you're gonna slide your left foot back 1.5 inches to 2 inches. And you can look down as I'm doing to make sure this is what you're doing, that there's not some kind of disconnect from your own body and your body is doing something different that you think. And then slide that right foot forward also 1 inch or 2. So now your feet are stacked, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. And sitting tall again, if you were leaning forward to check out your feet. And you're gonna start that pushing and pulling from the feet to create the motion in your back. So your back should be completely relaxed doing this. So here, my personal traction on the feet is that my left foot is pulling to bring me forward. My right foot is pushing down to tilt me back. But your feet might be doing something different to support that same movement. You have your own script, your own way of doing things. The thing that is essential here is that the feet are creating the movement. The communication is being established between your feet and legs and your torso. Couple more just using the legs here. And bring the arms parallel to the floor. At first, you keep the same movement of the legs, and both arms are moving together forward and back. Shoulders are the same level. And now we're going to do that opposite movement from arm to arm, and therefore there's a tweaking and twisting of the shoulders. So one arm goes forward and the other one goes back, and we're moving from the shoulders forward and back, and therefore the arms, I'm going to go sideways so you can see it from here too. My arms are and my shoulders are moving through the pushing and pulling, the arching and the rounding of the back. Keep on breathing. This can be done smooth and slow, where you're decomposing, deconstructing the movement here. Or done a little more rapid, a little more active, that which gives you cardio work, gives you a little more strength building, requires you to breathe deeper so you don't get tired and drained from the movement. A few more. And slow down. Come back to center, release your hands down, and you're going to slide your right foot a couple of inches in and slide your left foot forward a couple of inches. And bring everything back to parallel, feet right underneath the knees. Everything is hip distance apart, and we rest here. Deep, long breath, in and out. Your eyes are closed like me. Open your eyes. We're going to reach back with the right hand, grabbing the back of the chair. And if this is not easy for you to grab the back of the chair, you can grab the arm of the chair if you have an arm to your chair, or even grab far back onto the base of the chair, especially if you have some shoulders issues that don't allow to raise the arm back. Whichever of those three positions you're in, you're going to do the same movement that all of us is doing with the left arm. So first, you're going to pull forward a little bit so you get into the stretch of the shoulder. You're not rolling the shoulder forward and leaning back. You're rolling the hips forward, the tailbone is going back. You have a sensation of increased arching into the low back, and you feel the pull from the right pec into the right shoulder. And then we're going to bring that left arm forward and up, and we're going to wrap the arm across to grab the side of the upper arm and twist the head. And then you're going to open and swing the arm as far as you can go to the left. And you're going to feel an increase of the stretch into the right shoulder and pec. The left arm has the elbow bent. It's like in this shape, parallel. You lift that sternum up. You float the rib cage. You expand the breath. You look at your thumb so your head is turning up to the left. And you swing across again. You wrap. And you open and stretch. As you wrap your arm, there can be a softening of the spine where the chest is not going forward as much, kind of twisting toward the right, and your spine can go a little further back. Not all the way to rounding, but the softening in. But then when you open, you re-stretch the front part of the body. You open broad throughout the chest. And curl in. And open out. Make sure you're breathing here. You either breathe in as you open and you exhale as you close, or you inhale as you close and you feel the breath expanding between the shoulder blades a little stronger. And you exhale, you open, and you have a little more softening in the opening. So it has two different dynamics. Either you inflate in the opening and you feel a stronger stretch, more active here, and you exhale and there's more softening in the twist, or you inhale in the twist and you feel the breath inflating and opening the space between the shoulder blades, and you soften into the opening of the chest. Last two. Maybe you're able to go a little further back each time. And last one. And stay here. Rotate your left arm in, grab the back of the chair or the arms of the chair, and now stretch the front of the shoulders evenly forward as you lift the center of the chest up and away from the pubic bone. Feel that nice opening stretch here. I'm going to go sideways for the other side so you can see it from a different angle here. Soften in, release the arms down, take a pause before we go to the other side. Don't move your chair, don't move. I'm the only one moving here. To go on the other side, because it's the other arm. Okay. So here, starting from our neutral position, you're going to reach back with the left arm. See, my palm is facing towards the right. I'm not trying to grab this way, opening the arm out. I'm rotating the palm and grabbing the chair here, or the arm of the chair, or the bottom of the chair, depending on, again, how your shoulder is behaving this morning. And then from here, you're going to already kind of open that left shoulder as you pull the chest forward a little bit, you roll the shoulder back, you get the connection to a little fuller, a little deeper engagement into the left shoulder. And let's go with the right arm forward, and then you wrap and either touch or grab the upper arm here with your right hand, twist, and then you swing the arm across and open. And either you inhale again as you wrap, and you exhale as you open, or you exhale as you wrap, and you inhale as you open. Up to you. You can try both ways and see which one feels better for you today. My left elbow is not completely locked. There's a soft bend here so that I'm not completely tensing up. There's movement and flexibility and space to work with. Head is following the movement all along, as well as the gaze. You can aim to gaze your thumb. Two more. Maybe you're reaching a little broader out. Shoulder blades come in together a little bit more. And then rock. And then open the arm out. And then you're going to grab the back. So you have to rotate that right arm in to safely go back. Either you grab the arm of the chair again, the bottom of the chair, so you would be either here, there, or here. And from whichever grip you have, we're going to pull the shoulders back, lift the center of the chest and the lower ribs up, and stretch from the front of the hips, the top of the pubic bone, up to the upper chest. You can tilt your head not all the way back, but a little further away from the chest, opening the throat, rolling the hips forward, arching the back a little bit. Experiment here with pressing down in your feet and giving yourself extra power here so the back can relax and release a little bit more in the stretch. And then soften in. Soften the elbows. This time we're going to wrap the arms all around. Right arm crosses over the left, and you either grab the side of the arms, the top of the shoulders, or if you're able to, you wrap all the way to your fingers and hands accessing the shoulder blade. So here, the edge of the shoulder blade is here, across. And so my fingers are able to grab the edges of the shoulder blades. If you're able to do that, not everyone can do this. Sometimes when you tighten the shoulders and neck, it doesn't give you the opportunity. But if you do, for some of you that are able to do that, you can even give yourself a little massage here along the shoulder blade. If your arms are here, you can still press and squeeze and give yourself a massage at the shoulder level or at the arm level. And then from here, we're going to round in, drop the head down. And you see here through my back, I have like perfect t-shirt today for this so that you can see it. You can literally use your hands, whether they're here or there, to pull that space apart. Just stretch in between the shoulder blades as you drop the chin in. Take a couple breaths here. And then soften the action of the hands, release, come back up, open and stretch your arms out, and relax down. Face here again. Good. And take a few breaths here, restful breath. Relax into the shoulders, front, top, and back of the shoulders. Let the weight of the arms naturally pull the weight down. You can even invite a smile on your face. It's not all serious stuff. It shouldn't challenge you in becoming tight and serious around the face. And let's take just one or two more breaths here. And opening your eyes again. We're going to check in with the neck because all this opening of the shoulders and the back and working this whole area, most of the time, not all times, give some loosening effect to the neck. So let's tilt the head a little bit from side to side and see how our neck is doing. Nice, easy tilt. Back to center. Now we're going to swing and turn the head over from side to side. Back to center and then tilt up and down, not too far back, just a gentle tilt forward and up. Back to center. I'll roll into the shoulders and see if the shoulders are a little looser than they were at the beginning of the class. And reverse the rotation of the shoulders. And relax. Spine rotations. Down into your feet, especially when you're coming forward. Go slow and easy, especially if you tend to be lightheaded here. If you're not lightheaded, you can go just a little faster, but don't go super fast, no need. And let's reverse. Let's go the opposite direction. Again, as needed, you're going either extra slow or a little faster. Soft gaze, relax your face, your jaw. Back to center. Let's grab behind the right leg, clasping the fingers. Shift the weight back to lift the leg. Make sure you're comfy and your pose here. Maybe you do a little bit of swinging forward and back first to make sure that you're nice and supported here, that you're not struggling holding in, that you're using your body weight, the front into the leg, to straighten your arms, and to the back as the torso tilts back. And we're going to roll that right leg using the arms. And I'm going sideways so you can see that I'm not changing the position of my back. My back is as nice and straight as possible here. I'm not sloping in. And then it's just the arms that are bending and opening the leg out. And we roll that leg in. If you're not able to go in this wide range of motion, tiny circles are just fine. They're still aiming and going into the right hip joint. If you have wider range of motion, don't be shy and timid about it, and really roll it to its full expression. If you're able to do so, you're going to cross the foot on top of the left knee. If this is not available to you, you can still cross the ankle to the other ankle and drop that right leg out to the side. And what is important here in both positions, whether you're here up all the way or you're down, is that your left leg is the anchor. The left leg doesn't flip open and loses access to the floor through the foot. So here, if you're in this low axis, you're going to lean forward with your left hand, place the right hand to the inside of the right thigh, more toward the inside of the knee, but doesn't have to be strict on the knee, just a little higher. And you're going to do a little pulsing here. Left hand is anchoring your left shin bone down. If you're all the way here, you make sure that the ankle is past the leg, because bony ankle can get really uncomfortable. The bone here pressing on the thigh muscle, on the quad, can be quite uncomfortable. So make sure you're past that you're resting from the low leg. And then the left hand is here to stabilize, to make sure that the foot is not going to slide out. Right hand goes same to the inside of the right leg, same as the position low down. And here you're going to bounce. Pulse as you press gently. It doesn't have to be major pushing and wanting to break your hip. It's just a little pulsing. And that pulsing creates a vibration, a vibratory wave that goes into the hip joint and starts that same pulsing into the hip, softening what is really tight there from the inner hip to the glute. I'm breathing. Find this little bouncing effect. Nice. And then you're going to commit to a little pressure here and leaning forward. Same when you're here, you're going to press down a little bit, find your edge. And up there, leaning forward, sit bones back. You should feel a intensity of stretch from the inner thigh to the outer thigh into the right butt. And then we're pulling back, holding the knee back up, and releasing that right leg down and cross the ankles. Sit back into your neutral position. You might have it been sliding off a little bit, so make sure that you start from neutral. And let's go to the other side. Clasp your fingers behind your left leg. Press into the right foot to tilt your chest and torso back to lift the leg. Let's do just a few rocking motions forward and back to find that position of full support right in between that requires no effort. And from here, now the effort is in the arms. Bending of the arms to rotate the leg. And again, you can start small. If your hip is tender, tiny rolls here that might progressively open into spirals, a little bigger movement. If you completely find in your left hip and you have access to a wider range of motion, go for it. And let's reverse, rotate the opposite way. Keep on breathing. And then we're going to cross the leg either at the ankle level, if you cannot take it all the way up, making sure again that that left leg is opening out and your right leg is the support. You're leaning forward, right hand on top of the right knee, and that leaves a little more freedom of opening to the left hip, hopefully. If you're able to bring it all over, crossing on top of the leg, the ankle is past the thigh, and you're using your right hand to grab and stabilize and anchor your right and your left ankle on top of the leg. If you're up here, left hand to the inside of the knee or a little higher than the knee on the thigh, in the thigh, and we bounce. We pulse, and same down here we did on the other side. You use the hand to pulse up and down. Find your spot and find your groove here. Try to find an even pulsing, so you're not forcing too far down, you're not resisting too far up. You're finding a gentle pulse, pulse, pulse. Bounce, bounce, bounce. And let it shake you all the way into the hips. You might feel a little shaking on your spine also if you're fluid through the rest of the body. The only part that is really anchored here, that is supporting the rest of the body, is the right foot pressing down, the right leg supporting the left leg. Just a few more. I'm feeling my arm here. I don't know about you, but that's also an excellent movement to work your arm strength. And commit to bringing the right pressure to the inside of the knee, whether you're up or down. And stay here, lean over a little deeper, adding a little extra weight, pressing down into the right foot. Some of you, I didn't mention it to the other side, but if you really like your hips are rolling forward pretty easily, you can use your left forearm and elbow to keep this even, steady pressure on the left knee and left inner thigh. And press away, push away. Use your hands to release the left leg, nice and easy. Bring it out and down. And let's rock the pelvis just a few times to reset all around the glutes, the low back, the belly. And finding back to center, your neutral position. This is where we're going to close our practice today. The class went very fast. I don't know about you, but it's already like past 11. I'm like, what? So let's sit tall here. Make sure that you find that ease in your spine, that you're neither rounding and creating stretch and stress on your back, neither you're overarching and overdoing. You find that neutral spot right in between. That means maybe that you leverage where your hands are on your thigh. Drop the elbows, drop the shoulders, bring the chin slightly in, as the tendency is to poke the chin out. So see if you can leverage, maybe move your head a little bit from side to side, front to back, just tiny bit, to find the right angle, the right positioning of your chin, where you can sense that your ears are on top of the shoulders, which is the proper alignment of your upper spine. Close your eyes. Relax your jaw, which means that you can slightly open your lips. Relax the tip of the tongue to the back of the teeth. And from the relaxing of the tongue, feel how that helps relaxing your pelvis. It sounds crazy because you're like, what? The tongue is in the mouth way high. The pelvis is the base of the spine, way far away from my tongue. What is the relationship between the two? Well, there is relationship of connective tissue all across the body. The web of connective tissue of fascia is intertwined, interwoven into everything in the body. That the whole mapping, the fabric that is holding everything together. And because it's one piece of fabric that goes all across everything, the veins, the muscles, the bones, attached to the bones in some places, the organs, everything. So therefore, very easily you have a direct connection between the tongue and the pelvis. And you relax the tongue and the belly, low back, and pelvis relaxes. And deepen the breath. Inhale fuller and deeper. And feel the weight of your body gently dropping a little heavier onto your sit bones and the chair and onto your feet and the floor. And trust that heaviness, don't fight it. Without collapsing your inner frame, right? You're not rounding your spine, you're not curling forward. You're just allowing a cascade of softening through the top of the body, through the surface of the skin, and then into the layers, multiple layers of muscles, into the true stacking and support of your bone frame, and all this into feeling the absolute steady, unconditional support of the floor, the pulling, the magnetic pull of the earth, and the support of the chair as an extension of the support of the floor, so that everything can safely and deeply relax. And now imagine, again, if you're this kind of visual or sensorial, creative, imagination person, just imagine a river of breath running through your whole body, not just limited to your lungs, but feel currents of breath running through your legs, through your arms, through your torso. If you're not able to create that imagination tool here, then simply very pragmatically and practically, you're going to go into following the sensation of your breath. The inhale, and I know some feel like the air doesn't have any texture or any feel to it. But when you bring air into a container, it creates a certain pressure. And you can spot and feel the pressure, where it goes, where it expands, where it fills up, where it releases, where it's lacking, where it's overflowing. So simply follow the air coming in through the nostrils, going down through the throat, into the lungs, and how the expanding and filling up of the lungs have a physical effect on the rest of the body. Check in with the different parts of your body as we did at the beginning of this class. And see if you can find more spaces of ease and comfort and inner joy than spaces of ache and tension and resistance and discomfort. And let those places of ease and comfort and joy and that feeling good sensation spread a little broader, a little bigger throughout your whole body, including in those areas that are still a little achy. Feel your whole body from your legs and the contact of the feet with the floor to your whole arms, to the torso, not only the front side of the torso, but the sides and the back. And feel your neck, throat, and head space from deep in to almost sensing and feeling your brain to the different parts and areas of your face, to the ears, to the scalp all around the top, sides, and back of the head. Sense or feel your hair, whether it's short or long. You can get a sensation of the hair. And take just a few more breaths here, trying to take the whole body in the experience of sensing and feeling. The whole body as one united organism. And we'll close this practice today with a little tapping that we've done in the past. Maybe some of you are not familiar. You're just using your hands to tap on your belly first. Full hands from the palms to the fingers. You keep your eyes closed. There's not really a pattern that you need to use to tap. Just whatever feels good. From the lower ribs to around the navel, to low down, to the inner hips, to the top of the pubic bone. Up and down to the side. You can go in circular motion if that feels good. You completely relax in the tapping. Don't hold your belly tight. Just relax it. Relax it almost and all to the point you're feeling a sense of emptiness, of void as you're tapping. Feel that as if you were tapping. I don't know how many of you have tapped on a watermelon, to pick a watermelon at the store, and it has to be a good watermelon. You need to have that sense of kind of echoing inside of it. So allow allow your belly to be a watermelon and to have that texture. Therefore, when you stop resisting the front layers of the belly, you feel the tapping, the echoing, the vibration all the way to your sacrum, to the back, to the low back. And then with a little less intensity from the palms, but still tapping, you're going to go up to the ribs and up to the upper chest. And on the upper chest, you're mostly tapping from the base of the fingers into the fingers. And you tap around all the way to the collarbones. And then you go up your neck a little bit, tapping now to more the tip of the fingers. You go onto your face, and now it's a little tapping of the fingertips all around your face, top of your eyes, around your eyes, onto the cheeks and nose, the chin and along the jawline. Tap onto your ears. And then a little more actively with a little bit more surface of the fingers to tap on your head and around your head. All the way to the back of the head, the back of the ears, above the ears. And then coming back to the face, rest your palms on top of your eyes, cupping your hands. And relax in stillness for a few rounds of breath here. Keep the body relaxed and at ease, and relaxing the eyes all the way to the back of the eyes. And gently releasing your hands down. And when you're ready, start opening your eyes to light, colors, to shades around you. And that's how we finish our session today. I'm going to come close to you, turning the recording off.